P51D Janie, based in England. It's
I got the extended laser bed.
A reconditioned version, so it's not Warbird or dirtied up Warbird. So it was a remanufactured replica. Is the plane that I replicated. It has a DLE 85 engine.
Is that a twin?
No, it's a single cylinder engine. Full flaps, full ailerons, retractable landing gear with interior door bays to cover the wheels when it folds up.
My cutter only cuts about
a lot of scale detail.
I jigsawed puzzles.
Got a fully decked out cockpit with pilot, fully operational canopy that moves back and forth. Color scheme is an OD drab for top camouflage. It's got campaign stripes on it. The bottom has black and white stripes. Top has just white stripes. This particular squadron had black and yellow checkered nose with a yellow tail.
Move to your right, thank you. Now, this is all scratch built, is it?
Yeah, 100% scratch build, using Zeroli plans.
Okay. And what scale is it?
It is halfway between 1/5 and 1/4. So it's 1/4.6.
Wow. And how much weight are you carrying?
Weighs 44 pounds.
And the construction?
Construction is all balsa and light ply with fiberglass water or proofing with paint.
Paint. What kind of paint? What have you used?
Acrylic enamel.
And did you have any trouble with the silver on this?
Yeah, so I tried experimenting with a chrome type paint. It looked really good, but it just would not stick to the airplane. Once I put a clear coat over it, it just kind of basically peeled off. So I had to start over and go with the aluminum colored paint that they use for the surface of the wings.
Yeah.
So the bottom surface of the wings is painted with aluminum. The silver coloring. Now on the flaps, I did use some flight metal to simulate the bare metal where they're hidden up inside the middle of the frame.
Now, how much time did it take you to build this?
I started in January and finished this past December. I spent probably 3 hours a day, 6 days a week on it, a little bit longer on weekends.
But it was all built in 2023?
Yes, completely built in 2023.
Wow, that's amazing.
I have these doors are fully representative of where the real doors are on the airplane. I've used these hatches for my switches and my air fill. This one has my ignition battery switch and also my choke.
Now those are the scale locations of...
Yes, those are the stick scale locations.
Okay, now when you say you have an air fill, is that for the landing gear?
That's for the pneumatic retracts.
Okay, and does the tail wheel retract?
Yes, it does.
Can you lift it up and let us see that?
I figure we're going to see the guys.
So the tail wheel retracts, also has retractable doors.
Gee, that's amazing. Huh.
Also has a cooler door.
Is that
so? That's where when they're at low speed or flying slower to increase the airflow over the radiator.
Huh. Amazing. Is that functional actually?
Yes, it is functional.
Okay. That's cool. And tell me about this detail.
So for the detail on the plane, the balsa is fiberglassed so that you can prime it and paint it. So after priming the airplane, So I chose the method of burning my rivets into the airplane. So to burn the rivets in, you take a really small piece of brass tubing, sharpen the tip of it, and put it into a soldering iron. Get it real hot, and then everywhere you touch the primer, it'll leave a mark. Some of them are a little bit bigger, some of them are smaller to represent the rivets on the plane. For raised rivets, I took a little, basically a dropper with kind of a real small pointed syringe on it, and I put little drops of wood glue on it to create these little raised ridges here for raised rivets.
Are you insane?
No, it takes a lot of work though. For it now. So you'll see panel doors here, such as these. These are basically aluminum tape or flight metal. It's been cut out to shape, just applied to the primer, and then when you paint over it, it gives the illusion of having a panel.
Amazing. And those white loop-de-loops there halfway up the tail, tell me about that.
So that is to represent the actual antenna on the airplane that's used for radar detection. So it's basically to help prevent friendly fire. So if you're flying over a war zone or something, it keeps your friendly troops from firing upon you while you fly over.
Was that a late war thing, or?
That I'm not sure. I haven't researched that.
Well, how late is this model actually?
This is 1944.
Okay. And this was actually flown in combat, was it?
Yes.
Okay. And it's kind of distinctive having that tail number there.
Yeah, so this tail number represents this particular airplane. You'll also find it on the other side of the fuselage. It's also on the data printout, basically, that's on the side of the fuselage. It matches, so it's actually particular to this airplane.
That's a later thing to do in the war, was it too? I don't remember ever seeing a Mustang with that kind of tail. That's all.
No, generally all Mustangs had a 6-digit number on the tail.
Oh, okay. It's just my lack of knowledge.
Yeah, no, I think this font represents the font that was on the rebuilt airplane that was redone in the 2000s. It's not actually representative of the military font that you would see normally.
Is that a decal or is it printed?
This is all paint.
All paint. Oh,
yeah, so I made my own printing masks. So I made one to put the white down, then I made another one to put over the top to paint the black.
Amazing. Now, I noticed a lot of small printing decals. I think they're decals elsewhere.
Yeah, so that's all nomenclature. Those were I printed myself on water slide printouts. Wow. And I applied all those to the plane myself.
And what's the process for that, getting them on? I mean, at what point do you apply those?
Basically, it's the last step before putting a clear coat on.
Jeepers. And I don't really see any shine through, any kind of carrier indication where you know, when I used to build model airplanes, the plastic ones, I'd always have, you know, kind of crappy looking.
Yeah, so on the silver it worked really well. You can't see it. Some on the green you can see the carry through a little bit.
Yeah.
It's very faint. It just depends on the lighting in which you're looking at it.
And tell me about the cockpit here.
So the cockpit came from a 3D printer known as JP Warbirds out of the Czech Republic. He prints some really good stuff. I had to basically assemble it and paint it all myself. I added a lot of other details that do not come with the cockpit kit, like the shroud over the front there, the rails here. These I put a water slide over that to represent kind of what the real rails look like on the outside. Those circles and slashes.
Where'd that pilot come from?
Pilot came from warbirdpilots.com.
Wow. And you did a lot of painting on that, I assume?
The Warbird, the pilot came just as is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's nice detail.
It makes some really high detailed pilots.
How tall is he?
He's 15 inches.
Okay, quarter scale. There you go. He's
Yep.
6 foot. Yeah. Very cool. And would you do it again?
Tomorrow, no. In the future, maybe.
How about your exhaust stacks?
The exhaust stacks also came from JP Warbirds. They're 3D printed and fiberglass.
Very nice.
But I painted all those, put them together to make it look scale.
Wow. And what if you got a muffler on it? I suppose from the real exhaust of the.
Yeah, so the real exhaust comes out the bottom of the plane. I've tried to conceal everything in the cowl as much as possible so you don't see it.
Wow.
A lot of times bigger motors in planes kind of stick out. I did a lot of work to try to hide everything, as much of it as I could inside the cowling.
Well, very nice, Ryan. I'm really pleased that you did all this. This is quite a show. And we're going to see a taxi test later today?
Yeah, so I'm planning on doing some taxi testing today. I've broke the engine in without the cowling on. This is the first time with the cowling on, so I want to see how it runs with the cowling on, and try to make some runs up and down the runway to get some airflow over the plane as well to see how that affects it.
How much time do you have on the engine?
I have run about 3 gallons of fuel through it.
Wow.
I've been averaging somewhere around 16 to 17 minutes per tank. It's got a 32-ounce fuel tank in it.
Very nice, Ryan. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.